part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright. You're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. I know, there's a Laura already. We're having a party, it seems like, in here. It's like, this is the kind of atmosphere we wish we had always to record. Multiple guests, all of us in a room, not just spread out over the internet. You look really cute tonight, Tyler. Thanks, Brian. I am your host, Tyler. And with me, I'm just going to go ahead and let everyone know who's here. We got our friend Levi coming from the West Coast. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight?
We have Team Superman Red. We got back in the background. We got a Laura, Jamie with Mr. James Cole. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Over here in the Hall of Justice, we got Solomon.
I'm just hanging out in the hall, doing my own things, taking dumps.
This kid, I never know what this kid's gonna say. It scares me sometimes. And then I got Brian.
Happy to be here.
He's happy to be here. We're all happy to be here. This is a fun, unique episode.
I'm excited for this episode.
This episode is something I thought would be kind of neat. I got in my head probably about
a month ago.
A little over a month and a half ago. The idea is we have all these shows that we see and stuff. It's all about the multiverse and people of the different multiverse. And then I got thinking, like, wouldn't it be cool to kind of assemble our own Justice Leagues of who we would from 20 different characters and kind of assemble our own team throughout all the live action interpretations of these characters. So we've taken 20 people, and the criteria is basically there has to be at least 2 live action versions of the character to be on the list. I think I got them all. I want to keep it around 20. If I missed a couple that were,
You missed Legends of Superheroes.
Yeah, I will honestly say that I did not include any. I made a key of like all the options, just kind of help out here. But I did not include any of the Legends of the Superheroes actors because nobody would pick those. Except maybe Brian.
Damn right.
Not me. Because
so I would just let Brian.
See, that's why that's what people with Brian with a Y would say.
I hate you, James.
But we're gonna.
I love you, Brian.
I love you, buddy.
We're gonna get started, and we're gonna start at 20, which is Superboy, and we're gonna let Levi go first, then James, Solomon, Brian. I'll go last.
I want to go last.
Well, I have to do 2. That's why I go last.
You piece of shit.
So, without further ado, we're going to start number 20, Superboy.
Well, you can probably go twice in one night more than I can.
We'll start with Levi, number 20, Superboy.
I think for Superboy, I will lead off with the current interpretation in live action from Superman and Lois.
All right.
Nice.
They did call him Superboy in the last episode, I think. So
yes. So if I'm reading off my key, I will accept Smallville, Titans, Superman and Lois, and then just for if you wanted to. No, that's just the 3. Yeah, because my Superboy, this Superboy is technically it's not
whatever Levi says.
I will, but I don't like to include Clark as Superboy.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. Unless you do Clark, you've got Titans, Smallville, and Lois, Superman and Lois.
Yeah,
I think Allura agrees.
I'll look into this later. Okay, so Team James Cole's house.
I got Joshua Orpin from Titans.
Okay.
Solid choice.
Solomon, who'd you choose for Superboy?
I picked Smallville.
Solomon went with Smallville.
Yep. I think the Smallville Superboy looks cool. And yeah, it just topped mine.
All right, Brian.
I've only seen it once.
All right, Brian.
I went with Alex Orphan and Superman Lois. I love Jordan's interpretation. Absolutely love it. He's cocky like Connor a little bit times, like he wants that attention. He's got that like nice John Kent innocence. He's got his own like he's shaping into his own Superboy and who he needs to be, and I'm loving every part of it.
So what you're saying is he's doing his own thing.
Own thing.
Like David S. Pumpkins. All right. From the remote comes Jania. She said Josh Orphan, and I also say Josh Orphan as my Superboy from Titans. All right. Number 19, we're going to bring in Dr. Fate. Levi.
I think at this point, Pierce Brosnan just absolutely owned that role in Black Adam, so gotta go with that.
Solid, amazing choice. We'll see where we go. Team James.
I mean, I went with Pierce Brosnan, but I was a little torn between that and the Smallville version because it was really good on Smallville. And the only thing that's negative about the Pierce Brosnan version is honestly the editing of the movie.
Laura has a bone to pick with you, man. She is telling you, no, that was wrong, Daddy. We might have to come back to James. You might have to run your list past your daughter, man.
I might have to.
All right, Solomon, you're Dr. Fate.
Black Adam.
From Black Adam.
Yep, Levi, I did the same as you because I think it was great. Yeah. Yes. Fate.
You can't argue with that.
Nope. All right, Brian.
I chose Brent State from Smallville. I struggle a little bit. I almost went the Pierce Brosnan route, but I really liked how the helmet and Naboo possessed Brent a little, like overlapping his face, kind of like that. And him, going into the future of Superman and stuff and like that. Yeah.
And it was one of the first great, comic accurate looking costumes we had on TV.
Yep. Being a gatekeeper, that's probably the reason I chose it.
All right. I'm going to choose the helmet of Naboo sitting in the case in Constantine. I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
That way, well, if we're going to go that route, I choose Stargirl. The one that died.
But you don't even see him.
No, you see him. He died.
But no, I choose Pierce Brosnan, so does Jania. All right, number 18. Okay, I have to ask this because when I was filling these out, mine number 18 and Jania's number 18 is different. They're flipped thanks to my dyslexia. What do you guys have for number 18?
I think I have Constantine.
Is that what you guys all have?
I have Constantine as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have Constantine.
All right, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, my paper got flipped. Okay, so number 18, Constantine or Constantine, depending on if you're American or British. Levi.
I have the Matt Ryan Constantine, but the one specifically from his solo series.
Good. I like your differentiation. I like it.
I like this guy.
That's why we invited him. He's cool.
The Arrowverse one just feels too watered down to be the same character.
I agree. James.
Same character, same show, same actor. Yeah.
All right.
Matt Ryan. That was really good, and it just sucks where they put it because it didn't last very long.
All right, Solomon. Solomon. I can't remember why you put that one, but we're going with Matt Ryan for Solomon. I know, but just trust me. I think he was just copying.
I'm sure Solomon had to have picked Keanu Reeves.
Well, he did pick Keanu Reeves.
Don't laugh for the boy.
I'm not. But I'm trying to remember why you chose it. But Solomon.
Breathtaking.
But Solomon, do you remember that you met Matt Ryan, Constantine?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go Matt Ryan instead of you, piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Get off the shed!
This boy is an entertainer from top to bottom. All right, Brian, you're Constantine or Time?
I just gotta say, I got a fever. The only prescription
Is it
is more salmon.
I know. The boy comes to life.
This one was probably one of the easiest decisions on the list. It was Matt Ryan, but strictly the Constantine series, Matt Ryan.
And that's what Jania put. I went with Keanu. I wrestled with it, but having rewatched Keanu not recently, and like this is where I draw my line about Constantine and Constantine, because of course it's supposed to be Constantine, but the Americanized is Constantine, which is what Keanu plays. It's kind of a cheat, but I think what I liked is I would like to see Matt Ryan given the reins like in an MA or R-rated type thing to really get that gruffness and anger that I feel like where Keanu Reeves is like just Constantine.
Yeah, he needs that.
I would like to change my answer to Sting.
It's Sting. Okay, so the next one, which would be 17, is Batgirl.
Okay.
Levi.
I went with Alicia Silverstone purely for nostalgia reasons.
Is because Alicia Silverstone, she was that special one that we all were like, I like this movie.
We all had a crush on her.
The only reason to the nipples should be on the Bachelor.
Yeah, hers wasn't. That's sexist. All right, Team James.
Oh, I went with Dina Myers.
My man. All right, Solomon.
Lisa Grace.
Leslie Grace. Yeah,
Leslie Grace.
He went with Leslie Grace.
I almost did. I was still wrestling with that right before we recorded.
He's tiny.
I mean, if the movie came out, I would have loved to see it.
Canceled Batgirl.
Oh, cancel Batgirl. Good call.
Right?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Oh, I saw someone post that says, by now, Warner Brothers probably would have done better to cancel the Flash movie and just had released Batgirl.
I saw.
Probably.
I saw that in like a recommended YouTube video, but I didn't like click it. Now I can't find it again.
I don't need. The comment alone makes me chuckle, even though I really did enjoy the Flash movie. It's sad. All right, Brian, you're Batgirl.
I chose Dina Meyer.
I too chose Dina Meyer. I think she has the attitude, even though she went, Batgirl in one scene and then Oracle. She's wearing basically the Alicia Silverstone costume, but
it's painted and it looks more proper. It looks better.
And she just the red hair, her look.
And Dina Meyer is so.
James is a huge fan of Starship Troopers.
I love Starship Troopers. I just introduced Jamie to it like a week ago.
What sold it for you, bro?
What sold it for me was, of course, she don't look too bad. But the Oracle.
Yeah. And then Jania put Alicia Silverstone. All right. So moving on up. Number 16, Green Arrow. Levi.
The incomparable Stephen Amell, I think, is the proper choice here.
Right. I mean, you can't go wrong with this one. I it's not one of the whoever you say, for any of these, it's all good. It's your opinion. I don't think we'll ever have one maybe we all argue on, but we'll see. But yeah, this is probably one of the tougher, really tough ones. James, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, either one really, I did go with Stephen Amell myself, but it was a hard choice between him and why am I blanking on the name?
Justin Hartley.
I just had it earlier. Why am I blanking?
All right, Solomon.
I'm going to go from Arrow.
Yep, Solomon went Stephen Amell.
Yeah, I'm good with my answer. I love my answer, and I think it's a good Arrow thing stuffing.
Yeah.
Well, I can't explain it because I make
You don't need to.
I make
That's your answer.
I make everybody laugh.
And that's what you believe.
I make everybody
It's
laugh.
not about what you do.
And that's who I am. Is
That's
it Corcoran?
All right, Brian, your Green Arrow.
I chose Justin Hartley. He was a little bit more lighter. He had a little bit more quips, and I knew everybody was probably gonna go with Steven, but I felt that like Justin was just a little bit lighter of an Oliver.
It's a bold choice, Cotton.
Yeah.
Bold choice Cotton.
What is it?
He said bold choice Cotton from Dodgeball.
Oh, nice. We'll see if it works out for him.
Jania and I both chose Justin Hartley. And this one we sat and we talked about it, and I my point was much like what Brian said. He did have a little more of the Oliver is not Batman.
No.
And I think Amell has a nice arc of going from more of like just basically being Batman to being more Oliver as the show goes on. But I really think we haven't had that perfect Green Arrow yet. I think that if you mix Hartley and Amell together, you could get the best Green Arrow. So this was probably the toughest one because we did just sit and debate and go back and forth talking about it. It was cool.
Yeah, but they were both kind of like a Batman analog, so neither one is.
I mean,
like,
the character when it was
perfect,
created was a
you
Batman analog. So
yeah,
it wasn't until the Dennis O'Neil really helped shape who Green Arrow really is.
You
All
know,
right.
what it came
Go ahead.
down to for me is honestly in Smallville, he uses the handheld crossbow so much more than an actual bow and arrow.
See, that was like my if I would have tallied it, you know what I'm saying?
got me there. Yeah.
If I would have like kept tallies, like
you're right.
that is a big ding against him. He did use his compound bow. I do like Amell's bow better. But
See, I almost went with Stephen Amell because what the heck happened on the island with Justin Hartley and like the Green Arrow origin was retconned like 3 times.
I mean,
Like-
he was on an island and he met Tess Mercer, and then
Yep, that was
things
retconned.
happened that I can't talk about with my son in prison. So
But there was like a CGI little web series they did where he
Yeah.
would like, train with like the people of the island and stuff. And that was another part. And then there's Tess, and then like it just got retconned a lot.
all right, so now we're moving on to number 15, Steel, Mr. John Henry Irons, and I'm really gonna laugh if anyone has anything different. But Levi, take it away.
I did not go with Shaq. I did go with Wole from Superman and Lois.
If anyone in here picked Shaq, it would probably be Brian just to do it, but we'll see. James,
I'm Wole.
Solomon,
I went with Superman Lois.
Wole, Brian,
Hear me out.
It's a Corcoran.
I went with Shaq. And I went with Shaq because his version of Steel was kind of like more of the people, more of a man's man, like interact with the people and like let's build weapons to go against the weapons. Whereas Superman and Lois' Steel, hasn't been called Steel yet, but he's pulling from another. He's pulling from another universe. Superman Superman didn't save Shaq either, but in Shaq's version, it just was more like I'm the hero of the neighborhood, and that's kind of like I felt that was a little bit more of the spirit of Steel. So I went with Shaq,
like I
even
said,
though that movie is just pure shit.
hey, that is 97 nostalgia.
Yeah.
The year that superhero movies suffered the most. Like I said, there's no wrong answer. Honestly, he makes a good argument for Shaq, but Ginny and I did both go with Wole from Superman and Lois, but there is no wrong answer. All right, number 14. We're moving on in.
That would be a funny like team picture. You got Steel just like 7 foot whatever standing over everybody.
And you got to put him with the shortest Superman, which I think is Tyler at 6 feet. So, Hawkman, number 14, Levi.
I wrestled with this one probably as much as some of the bigger names on the list because I really, really like the Smallville version. But Aldous Hodge, maybe it's the recency bias, I like the swagger he brought to it in Black Adam. Like, that felt like a Hawkman who had fully come into himself and understood who he was.
I will say this: when I was writing the list and Solomon and I were going through making the key he sat with me, I for some reason almost forgot about Aldous Hodge for a split second. It's like, okay, Hawkman. I was typing up, and he goes, "Yeah," and the one from Black Adam. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, I just was like, "You're right, son. Good job, buddy."
I'm a
James,
huge Aldous Hodge fan, so that probably factors into it.
I can't disagree with you. You know, when I remember him first from Smallville season 2, as one of the Chosen, the one that shanks Sam.
Shang Tsung?
Shanks Sam. James, what you got for Hawkman? Can't say yourself. Go.
Well, I also did pick Aldous Hodge.
Dude. Sorry.
He would.
Lisa?
He said Aldous Hodge. Solomon, what you got?
I'll do Black Adam.
So we got Aldous Hodge. Brian.
Michael Shanks. Big dude. Angry. It felt like came right off the comic page.
Jania has Michael Shanks. I wrestled with this because I teeter between Michael Shanks and Black Adam. The one thing that I knew for sure was the dude from Legends sucked. So that didn't even factor into anything.
Yeah, totally with you.
I was like, okay. I did eventually settle on Aldous Hodge. For much like Levi said, with the swagger, the attitude, there was the anger, and his outfit.
The only thing that I think make Michael Shanks is just a little more comic accurate is they definitely did the reincarnation thing.
Yes.
I believe it's supposed to be that way with Aldous Hodge's version as well. That's what they said.
I just feel
in the interviews, like when you read it in the back of the comics and stuff, but that wasn't in the movie, and I feel like stuff like that was part of the things that hit the editing room floor.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Our next one, you might think it's an easy one, but this one was actually quite tricky. Is number 13 Black Canary, Levi?
See, this wasn't hard for me. Journey from Birds of Prey for reasons.
All right.
Reasons.
He's got his reasons.
It's a family show.
Oh, I get. Okay. The way you said it,
My wife definitely agrees with me as well. So we'll keep it at reasons.
PG-13 family show.
All right, James.
Journey Smollett. I really liked her performance, and the fact that she did get that scream at the end. I didn't really consider Arrow.
We have 3 versions on Arrow.
Birds of Prey.
We have 3 versions on Arrow.
You're right.
Birds of Prey, Smallville, and then Birds of Prey, the movie.
Yeah, the only 2 that were in contention was Smallville and Journey Smollett. And she edged it out for, I will say, reasons as well.
Solomon, who did you pick for Black Canary?
So let me talk this, Dad. Just let me talk.
Let me talk.
Okay. I picked Birds of Prey film movie.
For reasons?
Yeah, for reasons.
That's fair, buddy. Believe me, we understand.
Because
Reasons.
because I not think Arrow or Smallville or the TV show did not do good. I haven't seen Arrow since a long time, and I've seen Smallville since a long time, and I don't think I'm allowed to watch the Birds of Prey TV show.
Oh, the TV show. I mean, you can watch it. It is what it is.
But
yeah, the canary in that is and then like they have the mother, who's the original, and then the Arrow version, like the first one, was definitely not up there.
But I have to say, Birds of Prey film.
Okay, Brian.
This was the hardest one for me, and it was kind of crazy to me. Why was it so hard? So I thought about the Birds of Prey movie because her canary cry was spot on, looked great, but that movie, so much was missing from that movie, and maybe my ignorance of being so pissed about the Birds of Prey team, just what they did to my Renee Montoya, that I couldn't forgive anything in that movie.
This is true.
Then I thought about Smallville's version because she wore the fishnets.
Yeah, she did.
But that face makeup was just really weird, and her canary cry was just a roar. So I was kind of torn. Then I thought about Katie Cassidy for reasons, lots of reasons.
I like this new just reasons.
But I feel
I'm keeping it as we do podcasting forward. I'll just be like reasons.
But I felt like Katie, when she got to be Black Canary officially, they didn't do her justice. It's just. So I actually went with Katie Lotz.
Ooh.
And I went with Katie Lotz because she's a badass, formidable fighter. She's a leader. She can lead a team. You wouldn't want to mess with her. And she was extremely loyal to Oliver and was his right hand.
And you know what? I think the ones that kick the most butt would be Journey Smollett and Katie Lotz.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, totally. Absolutely. So, yeah. And I'm confident in my answer.
It's a good answer. This was one that Jeannie and I talked about too, because once I wrote down, like, I think other than like the big characters, like Superman and Batman, I think this is the one that has the most representation on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's what made it so hard. Yeah.
But Jeannie and I eventually just kind of went with Journey, just because, not because of reasons, but because of just attitude, the singing. You know, that was one thing we really got to see with her that we didn't really see in other versions. I think that's something that's true to the character a lot, so that's why we chose there.
yeah, I did like that.
All right, next up, Swamp Thing. And I will say, when I was writing this, I thought, oh, there's multiple Swamp Things, but then I realized, no, there's only two. Because I forgot that Dick Durock did the TV series and both movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there was only two come down. Because I was like, oh,
official Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
we're not talking Alex, we're talking Swamp Thing.
yeah. So Levi, Swamp Thing.
See, this one I had to take a not available on because I haven't seen the older one.
Oh.
And the new interpretation, I have tried to watch it twice, and both times I fall asleep 2 episodes in.
Because you're watching on CW, aren't you?
No, I was watching it back when it was on the
Okay,
DC
on
app.
Ah, okay. All
And
right.
it put me right to sleep both times.
I don't know what that says about you and psychological horror. Like, maybe just relaxes you and you're able to sleep more. I don't know.
It is the season is a slow burn.
It is.
I think it was supposed to even extend further, but when they cut the episode count back is when it like rapidly fired there at the very end.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna rewatch it in September.
Well, I really enjoy it. I own the Blu-ray.
You know what, Dan? I'm gonna watch it with you.
Okay. I own the DVD because I didn't find the Blu-ray, but I found the DVD for $10 at like Black Friday. They only had a couple left. It's been the hardest series to find, and it's the one that's just kind of gotten thrown under the bus. Like, it was available to watch the CW edit on the CW app, but other than that, like, it's not streaming anywhere.
The original series is nearly impossible to get.
Yeah, I have the original series,
No,
season 1.
Is impossible.
But yeah. All right, James, Swamp Thing.
Derek Mears. From
Yeah,
the
of course
Swamp
it
Thing
does.
series.
I knew James. Like, if anyone, if I just had a pinpoint, like, I knew James would do this one without even hesitation.
Oh yeah. Well, I like Derek Mears. He's a great
That's why.
actor. I love his Swamp Thing. I love his Jason.
That's why I knew you'd pick Derek Mears. All right, Solomon.
I picked Dick the Rocks, whatever his name is, but yeah, I picked
Reasons.
I
Well, I hope not.
Reasons. Definitely. Raisins.
You don't know what that means yet.
More like
I'll have to explain it to him.
raisins.
Solomon, we'll have to go sidebar it. we'll talk.
You see,
when a man hits a
sees
certain
woman,
age and he sees a person that he's attracted to,
there will be reasons.
there will be reasons. Brian, who do you choose as your Swamp Thing?
I chose Derek Mears. For me, see, I love Swamp Thing. First of all, love Swamp Thing. For me, Swamp Thing shouldn't talk as much, and he shouldn't interact with humans as much. So, like in the first Swamp Thing movie, he's pretty good, in terms of not talking too much. But then you get into Return of Swamp Thing, and then he is so goofy.
Yeah,
Derek looked amazing. The red eyes, the body structure, the movement of Swamp Thing, and his voice just so good. So Derek all the way.
Jania and I both chose Derek Mears. We really enjoyed watching that series together, and it was so heartbreaking. Because what was it like? After the first or second episode aired, is when they it's canceled. So it was just a kick in the face. The next one is Shazam / Captain Marvel. Levi.
I went with Zachary Levi. I don't think his performance is perfect, but I like the look of him as Shazam.
Cool. James?
Levi and Levi.
I also went with Zachary Levi. I don't really, and it's because I know I saw that when I was younger, but I haven't seen it in 30 years. So I have no real recollection of the other actor. And then the look, and he said the performance, and I think that as well. But that's something that could be worked on, I think.
Okay, Solomon.
Oh, it's my turn already? Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. I picked Zachary Levi too.
Brian.
I have my reasons.
Brian.
You all know what reason is.
I'm sorry
It
for
is
introducing that
Solomon.
term.
Oh no, I love it.
It is Solomon's brain game.
Come here. Brian, talk about yours.
You guys do the birds and bees right here in front of me?
No.
I'll do it. He ain't my kid. I don't care if he gets twisted stuff. You see, the stork, he watches everything. All right. I chose Garrett Craig.
Okay.
You don't even know who that is, do you?
That's
from Legends, buddy.
I was about to say, I knew it was because it's the one that I don't know.
Nah, dude, that shows Zachary Levi. No question.
Hey, okay. Jania put Zach Levi. I choose Zachary Levi from Shazam.
You're pulling a lead.
From the first movie, where he's a little bit more toned down and reeled in.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more in line with his Billy counterpart.
Nice. Yeah, that is the
I
best.
choose you, Billy Bobs. Why am I that one? Why am I so like
Wait,
this?
it says I choose Jaimin Hansu. Done. All right.
I choose you, Pichu.
All right. Now we're halfway point. Our top 10. Starting with Supergirl. I think this one was a little tough too.
This was tough.
Because there is quite a few to choose from. Levi, what you got?
Yeah, this one was tough. I didn't want the recency bias of the Flash movie to make me go with Sasha, so I went with Vandervoot from Smallville.
Nice.
I wish we did animated.
All right, James.
That's a good choice. Good choice. I like it. I went with Melissa Benoist. I have
Please say
more of a fondness for that version of the character because watched so much of it. We talked about so much of it. And her first couple of seasons, 3 seasons, she did very well. I enjoyed her performance, and she looked like the character off the page.
All right, no arguments. Solomon, which superhero did you choose?
TV show.
So
And
Melissa.
I know what Dad's gonna say. I have my reason. That's what Dad's gonna say.
I'm gonna
See, those reasons are okay. Those are okay reasons.
I explained it to him, people, so he's a little bit more on board. A little bit. He somewhat gets it. Brian.
This was tough because
I get it.
I did really like Melissa, but I ended up going with Laura Vandergrift.
Nice.
Smallville, for reasons, but also I felt she
Season 7 Corn Queen reasons.
Actually, you just took the words out of my mouth.
It is corporate.
She in my Justice League, she looks more like I feel super bullshit.
Okay. All right. So Jania's.
And she was more confident with her powers. She was more like confident with who she was. She was a little bit more badass. Had a little bit more cockiness to her. So,
Jania went with Melissa as well. And mine, I wrestled with this one, honestly. Much like, because I did really like what Sasha did. It was still Kara, but it was a little bit different edge. And I thought, like, I really like Melissa in seasons 1 through 3.
yeah. Yeah.
But I went with Sasha just because
Sasha.
because I would like to see more of that interpretation. And I liked what I saw, like the idea of the weight of her not taking care of her cousin, the anger that I feel like Supergirl, sometimes they don't exploit and show right off the bat, of being like the survivor of her planet and not, not being able to fulfill her mission.
See, I didn't go with Sasha for only one reason. We didn't get enough.
And that is a fair assessment. But like I said, I went there because Melissa, I like Melissa a lot. I like Laura. But it just, if we're going to break it down, like her placement in Smallville is kind of odd, because it's like, oh, we have Supergirl who's fully formed and Superman's not even there yet,
And then a good portion of it was really Brainiac, that part.
So, but there is no wrong answers. But I went with Sasha to be a little different here.
Okay.
I like Sasha's suit, and I like Laura's suit. If you read season 11, and she's wearing the suit in the future, that suit's really cool, and I would love to see something like that in live action as well.
On to our next one. That's Rob.
So you've said, Tyler, our host here, or main man here, Lobo here. You have said there is no wrong answer. Do you feel anything on that list there is a wrong answer
That we've already done or that we could possibly do?
that we've done, or whatever's that's on the list?
Okay. If anyone for number 1 puts David Wilson, it's a wrong answer. That's all I'm going to say. Like, that's not the Superman that I want to lead a Justice League.
Put Kirk out.
If you could argue it, I'll take it. Now this one, okay, so this one is probably one that actually has a lot of options because it's just Robin.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Robin. I didn't specify who, and there are multiple options and different characters. So number 9, Robin, Levi.
Mine is from Titans. It is Brenton Thwaites.
All right.
He nails it, if you ask me. Look, character, all of that.
Tim Drake, right?
No, Dick Grayson.
No, Dick Grayson. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
The infamous fuck Batman.
Yeah. The one where he's like, all right. I remember where I was when that trailer dropped and watching that. I was on my phone. I was at the gas station picking up my car from getting the tires changed. And I watched and I was like, wow. And I had to go to work later. And I was like, I couldn't wait to talk to my friend Mike about it. I was like, I cannot wait to talk about that.
I remember arguing with people online about it because they're like, Robin would never say that about Batman. And it's like, you guys clearly haven't read when Dick Grayson left Batman.
Exactly.
Dick Grayson would.
I was saying, the animated series, he decked him in the face.
So James, Robin.
I also went with Brenton Thwaites. I think it's because he did great. His performance was awesome. The suits were amazing. He got to grow, got more time with the character than really any version. And when it came to Chris O'Donnell, There was like no character arc in 2 movies.
Hey. Just play. All right, Solomon.
Well,
Solomon, show us all who you picked.
I pick Jason Todd from Titans.
Solomon picked Jason Todd from Titans.
he is a Red Hood fan.
I have my own customized Red Hood costume. I have a mask.
And TT made you a T-shirt of Red Hood.
Right, she did.
So,
And it's gross.
Brian, I'm intrigued to see. I think Janice is going to kick everyone in the face, but Brian.
I chose Burt Ward.
You want to rationalize why? Or just suck at everybody's Burt Ward?
Burt Ward.
Okay.
Just because it's his favorite.
No.
Nothing's wrong in this one. You don't have to explain it, except for maybe,
If you pick Carrie Kelly from Gotham Knights, yes.
There you go.
No.
Did they ever call her Robin? I haven't watched enough to find out.
I haven't either, but it's Carrie Kelly. We know who Carrie Kelly. I think she does say I'm Robin. I don't know. I watched 2 episodes.
So the general theme of what I wanted in a Justice League is I want a Justice League of hope, and I want a Justice League that's going to get crap done, but be hopeful about it. I didn't want a very dark Justice League. So thinking about because there need to be symbols of hope. I'm at a point in my life where I don't want the darkness so much anymore. I'm kind of moving in a different thing. I want more hopeful. And Burt Ward just I thought about Titans, I did, but Burt just even though he was in his 20s, he wasn't 15. Burt brought to me the spirit of Dick Grayson as Robin. He was hopeful. He was upbeat. He still knew he had some things to learn. He still was extremely smart. Like any type of riddle, any type of issue, like he solved it pretty dang fast, faster than Batman at times. And he still had that kid-like atmosphere. He was still good. He was good with the chicks. But he was just very hopeful, very optimistic Robin, and I think that's needed sometimes.
That's why I like having Brian around. He always brings a good, different perspective.
I like that answer, and I'm just happy that, the route they took with Brenton Thwaites is he developed and he got there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I struggled, too.
I struggled, and I'm going to do mine first.
Nightwing's my favorite DC character. So.
I'm going to do mine first, and I'm going to leave Jania's for last, because I think she's going to be the mic drop. I chose Brenton from Titans. I liked because he had a great arc. So that's all I say. But Jania,
I can already guess.
Who?
Chris O'Donnell.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I even considered that.
She went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt from The Dark Knight Rises. And that was before I even wrote up my key. We were doing it. She's like, and that's who she said. And I was like, you're not wrong. His name is Robin.
Good choice.
That was Christopher Nolan's way of doing it.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
I was very proud of her.
Mic drop and run away.
He's more Tim Drake. God bless him.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 8, Cyborg. Levi.
I went with Ray Fisher from Justice League. I think it's a shame what happened behind the scenes and what played out on social media with him, because I think he would have been great in the role for years.
Yeah. James?
My man.
I totally agree because, again, I follow Levi with the same answer.
You can go first next time.
You guys are sharing paper.
Right.
Solomon.
I go for Ray Fisher.
Brian.
I was torn about this. Because, Ray did a pretty dang good job. If we're going to go with, the Justice League, I would say no to Ray. But then you watch Snyder Cut, and you're like, yeah, Ray. I went with Jovian Wade.
I can see that, and I thought of that just after you telling me about the hope and upbeat. I can see that.
That's probably part of my reason. But also Jovian, in terms of the Doom Control, he was the only one that was a kind of somewhat established hero.
Yeah,
and he knew how to pull a team together. And I also like the story with the Scars and the girlfriend.
Yes.
I didn't finish Doom Patrol just yet, but I liked that. He's more kind of getting to accept who he is. He's just a little bit more mature of a cyborg in his role, and he's incredibly hopeful, and he's more lighthearted in things.
Jania chose Ray Fisher. I chose Ray Fisher specifically because of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
Because I love the arc.
Yeah, it was.
I like that he goes from being this inward to finding who he is and part of something, and the whole "I'm not broken." If we were just going off Justice League, I would have went with Jovian for what you said.
Yeah.
But because we have Zack Snyder's Justice League, it puts Ray Fisher in a whole different light.
Well, you remember years ago, like you, me, and James had this whole talk where I was like, I don't think Cyborg should be on the Justice League team.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be Manhunter. Manhunter's the heart and soul of it. And, like, through the years, and especially seeing the Snyder Cut, I have become more of a fan of Cyborg. I've gained a new respect that he does deserve to be in the Justice League.
He is a tricky character because you think him as Teen Titans, but then when you think about the modern age and having a cyborg with computers and what we use, like, it makes sense.
I think Cyborg works great as a character who can actually go with both. He can work with the Justice League, but he is also a younger member and he works with Titans as well. So he has people his age around him, but he can work with both teams. He's kind of in and out of the Titans comic and the Justice League book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Number 7, Martian Manhunter. James. I guess we're going James first this time, then Levi. James.
I went with Philip Morris from Smallville.
Nice. All right, Levi.
See, I get to follow James now. I went with Smallville.
I told you it was going to be the same answer. I knew it.
They're secretly video chatting. Like, all right.
It's like Xbox or something. You got a party on the side.
Solomon, Martian Manhunter.
I went with Justice League. Jack Snyder's. Please don't yell at me for a reason, but I just like it. I like the look. And please don't down me. Don't.
No, you're fine.
No,
Brian.
Where the heck are we on this? Yeah, I went with Phil Morris, man. With James and Levi, man. Like, yeah. I mean, I love him. I love that Manhunter.
All right. Jania and I went with David Harwood from Supergirl because I really like season 3. Sold it for me. When we dig into his background with his father, I like that he became this surrogate father to Alex and Kara, and everything. So I went with him. Got really quiet there.
No, I mean, it's a great version of the character, and you actually get a lot more Martian Manhunter with him than you do Philip Morris.
That's fair.
But the effects at the time, but Philip Morris is such a great actor, and so is David Harwood. Kind of more of a nostalgia thing.
I will say we're in the big 7, with this one, which is, the Justice League core. And like I said from the top, there are a few more characters I could have added to this list. Honorable mentions, Stargirl, Jonah Hex, but I just was like trying to keep it at 20 instead of getting too crazy with it.
20 solid.
So like I said, we are in the top 7, which is the core Justice League team. That's why Cyborg was number 8, because sometimes he's there. So here we go.
I want some Oreos.
The Flash. Who's going first, James or Levi? I don't know. Or should
John Wesley Shipp.
I'll go first.
Jump in. Just jump in and do it.
All right, James, go.
John Wesley Shipp.
All right, Levi, go.
Which version of John Wesley Shipp, though? Because he's played the Flash twice.
Right. His Barry Allen.
Okay. I went with his Jay Garrick.
Nice.
That's excellent.
These two, man.
Excellent.
They're so cute.
I know.
They're like us.
I know.
My turn.
All right, we're all taking a trip to go visit Levi. Get in the van. We'll be there in a couple of days.
All right. I pick the movie. Zack Snyder's Justice
You
League.
picked Ezra Miller.
Yes, I picked Ezra. And why is everybody quiet?
Because we're just listening to you.
You guys were like this when I won the Martian Manhunter. I was like,
What the heck are you saying?
He's Solomon. All right, Brian.
I am Vegeta.
Wrong show, dude. All right, Brian, go.
I went with someone better than Ezra.
Is he good? Is he roaming around the house?
Good.
Is he good? Good. That's an awesome 90s music joke. If anyone got that.
Grant Gustin, man. You know, I don't know if he will be a definitive Flash. I don't know. I did consider John Wesley as Jay. Now, actually, my real answer is Michael Rosenbaum. But
This is live action, Brian. Solomon did just suggest to me that we should do this again, but through animation.
yeah, that'll be fun.
You
That'd
know-
be very fun.
You know why?
See, when I first started the list, I had to read it multiple times because I wanted to pull animated versions over, like just live action anime. Anybody who played the character, just pick them all. That's what I want.
But Brian went with Grant Gustin,
But, yeah, Grant just that hope, man.
and
That hope is just they say the hope
that
it's
kills
the
you.
hope that kills you.
I might change my answer to Grant Gustin.
It's okay. You can
I'm
pick.
changing my answer to Grant Gustin.
All right.
I mean, not Grant Gustin.
Ginny and I also chose Grant. So a couple years ago, I rewatched season 1 and 2 of Flash, which I love both seasons. I recently rewatched early June. I did seasons 3 and 4. I was going to, and I started season 5. In my rewatch, I was going to watch up to 6, basically till Crisis, then stop. But yeah, those early seasons
So good.
with Grant, before they try to do too much with the side characters and all that, which happens in a lot of TV shows and stuff.
Like Arrow.
He is that hope and that goodness that I really love, and why I really do resonate with the character of the Flash. So
And he's the only character worth watching in that show after this.
after Cisco leaves, yes.
Yep.
All right, number 5, Aquaman.
Aquaman.
James Levi.
This one I'm looking forward to seeing who's got what. Go ahead, Levi.
So I almost went Justin Hartley. Considered it.
My man.
It was an option.
Did go with Momoa though. Just Jason Momoa is the man.
Can I go next, please?
We have
Wait.
an order.
Who said what?
He said Momoa. Levi said
Levi
Momoa.
said Momoa.
All right, James.
I actually went with Alan Richardson
Nice.
from Smallville.
Bro.
Bro.
Wet and wild, bro. With you in the turf and me in the surf. All right. Solomon. Aquaman.
I went with Jason Momoa.
Brian.
I almost went with Alan, but then I was reminded that he needs water like right away. So I chose Momoa, but under one condition: he has to lose his damn hand and put a hook on it.
Dude, if there's anything I want in Aquaman 2, is I would love to see like clean shaven or like in short hair Aquaman Arthur come out like in the end with the hook, like just this whole different look. But
He has to lose that hand. I need that hook.
Jania and I also chose Momoa for Aquaman. I mean, he made Aquaman awesome. Even though Aquaman already was awesome,
Well, Jeff Johns made him awesome. but whatever.
Jeff Johns did make Aquaman awesome. But I love the Justly Hartley mention because I would have accepted that. It's out there in the multiverse somewhere.
You can buy that one episode on Google TV.
That was the first show I ever purchased on Apple when things were first being released on like digital to buy, because I was so excited that I could see it and it existed in some way. It was the very first thing I ever purchased digitally.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent episode.
All right. So now Green Lantern. Now this one is very similar to our Robin conundrum, where it's Green Lantern. I don't say who. James or Levi, whichever.
Let's do James.
All right, James. Solomon has chosen.
I went with Ryan Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds?
Brian Reynolds?
Brian
No.
Reynolds. Yeah, right.
I don't know a Brian Reynolds.
It just the echo suddenly. I was like, huh?
So more attractive than me. Thank you. Thank you, bud.
All right, Levi.
Ryan Reynolds as well. If he has a better third act in that movie, I think we have an entire franchise. So
You guys.
I will agree. I think if it started a little different, and I think if we would have started and opened with, if we would have opened with him having a flashback to his dad dying, and then that's what pops him awake, and then we do that whole scene, and then we cut to the aliens on space, I think gives it a different flow of immediately getting into the movie with Hal's energy compared to starting with these aliens and then going to Hal. I think there's some editing in that film that could help it, as well as like what you said with the third act. I think, yeah. Solomon?
I went with Tom Murray
Solomon chose Tom Murray.
because I love Tom Murray. I'm so sad he died.
In Beware My Power.
And
Yeah.
Beware My Power.
Yeah.
I'm like crying.
So he picked Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah.
Tom Murray.
Yes.
Nice.
From the Green Lantern movie. Yes. Brian.
Yeah, you could do Michael Clark Duncan as Kilowog.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
I didn't think about that. Yeah, I might have to change my answer to that one.
Oh, all right. James chose Kilowog. Sold. Right. Brian.
So I thought I was going to pull a fast one on you because when you originally sent that list, you just said Green Lantern, and you didn't specify which one. So I thought I was going to pull a fast one, and then you sent me a list of possible answers, and I was like, damn it, okay. But my answer was easy peasy. Is definitely Michael Clark Duncan's Kilowog. Because Kilowog is, in my opinion, the definition of willpower, the best damn Green Lantern there is. Even better than Kyle. Yes, I said it. Kilowog cares about every single lantern. So many great Kilowog stories. Kilowog is going to be that guy in the Justice League that has everybody's back. He's looking out for everybody. He's going to make sure that no one dies. He would end comic book deaths.
Jania chose Ryan Reynolds. I chose. I can't even read. I don't know how to pronounce.
Drum roll.
Solomon, hand me the key so I can say this. Whoa! All right, calm down there, National Lampoon. Hand me that when you drop on the floor. I don't want to butcher the last name. Matthew Settle from Guy Gardner from the unaired Justice League of America pilot. Why? Because he's so tacky and so funny and so not Guy Gardner, and I wanted to be different. That's why I chose it.
Daddy forgot to put John Stewart on here.
I was expecting for James to be like Wayne T. Carr. I was really expecting him to fly that flag.
Right. Definitely. You know, if there was anything out there, if it was in the movie, maybe.
Oh, you could have. Oh,
You could have threw in Diggle.
yeah, you could have picked John
Yeah,
Diggle
you could have. John.
But he never officially was a Green Lantern, so I did not choose
because they canceled his show.
Yes.
Because they canceled his show.
All right, we're down to the last three.
We're in the Trinity.
There we are, buddy.
We are at the Trinity. We're at Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman!
Who would like to go first? James, Levi?
I'll go first. I picked Gal.
No surprise there.
No. I almost wanted to pick Adrian Pilecki.
You have your reasons. I know it, James.
That is actually a correct assessment there, Solomon.
You are correct.
Oh well, absolutely, yes. She's from here, where I live. So she's from
like
that area.
every
yeah.
nerd show possible.
All right.
And she has been absolutely. She was in Supernatural. She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Supernatural? Wait, when? Supernatural?
No, the actress.
Oh,
I'll show you.
yeah, okay.
Yes, she was.
All right. This is another one of those categories where there is a wrong answer under the Wonder Woman catalog. Levi, answer.
Kept it simple and went with Gal.
Solomon.
And you have your reasons, Levi.
Solomon.
I love Gal.
Brian.
Linda Carter.
That is a good answer too.
Yeah, that's not my answer.
Oh.
Well, it would have been for reasons and reasons alone. You know, if I can go back to the 70s. But no, I definitely chose Gal. Gal, to me, embodies everything that Wonder Woman needs to be. She's beautiful. She has that big smile. She gives hope when she's around her character, when she's around the people. The only scene probably I liked in Wonder Woman 84 is, her with that little girl, just inspiring hope. And she's a warrior. She's a badass. She is what Wonder Woman needs to be.
Jania and I both went with Gal.
Gal is our answer.
I mean,
Gal.
even though there are multiple options,
Yeah,
absolutely. I would have taken Adriana if you would have picked it. Well, fine. The only wrong answer was Kathy Lee Crosby. I still don't understand that. I still don't understand it.
That suit alone should make her the Justice League forever.
But for everything, yeah, she embodies the character, and I think Linda Carter does too for the time.
Yeah.
So it would be tough, but the character is just the warrior aspect is a big F in there. All right. This one probably the quickest round, I bet. I don't know why, but I just feel like we all have this one down, but we'll see. Batman, our big number 2. There are choices.
There's a lot of choices for Batman.
So many choices.
We're gonna start with Levi.
So for this one, this was the one I took the approach of building a team the most with, because Batman is so important to a Justice League team. And I went with Val Kilmer, but only if he's wearing the Panther suit.
Nice. I like that caveat.
Wow.
All right. I totally respect that. James.
I went with Ben Affleck.
I went with Val Kilmer.
Solomon went with Val Kilmer as well.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. Brian wants to go last.
And I want to go last for Superman too.
Okay. I went with Batfleck because I think he has a good arc. I think he comes out strong, hopeful, renewed, but there still is a deep sorrow, and I like his Batman a lot. He looks like Batman. His suit has things I would tweak about it, yes, but he fights. He just is powerful Batman. Jania chose Robert Pattinson. So, and we were rewatching the Batman the other day. I had it on here in the computer room where I was working, and Solomon sat down with me and was watching it. So it is.
And if you guys haven't seen, we did something for the Batman. A pitch of Batman 2 and Batman.
Yeah, we did. Me and Solomon made a little video. We talked about our pitch for Batman 2. So that, without much ado, about nothing, Brian.
I struggled with this one the most because, kind of like what Levi said, Batman's your leader. Batman's like your dude, and it kind of shapes the whole team. So,
can I take a guess? Can I take a guess before you say it?
You probably already know.
Based on what you said about hope and all this, I would almost see you picking George Clooney.
I almost picked Clooney. I, honest to God, almost picked Clooney.
Because I like Clooney would have been a much better Batman if it was directed like they did Forever, because he has it. But based on what you're saying, I would say Clooney.
It's because I read an interesting article, and the guy put it like this way: it was like ranking the Bruce Waynes, and he was like, Clooney is so high up on the list of Bruce Wayne and he should have been a higher Batman because he is not burdened. He's at that part. If you go through the story arc and you consider Keaton and Kilmore as part of that storyline, Clooney is at the part where he's not burdened by the past anymore. He's accepted he's Batman. He's saving the city. He's accepted his role as like a father figure to Robin, and that Alfred's like his dad.
And that's the best thing about Batman and Robin is it takes away from his parents and puts it on Alfred and the fear of losing Alfred. But who did you pick?
But I did not choose Clooney. I chose Adam West.
Ugh.
And I chose Adam West because Adam West's Batman has a way out of every single situation. Oh, we're going to go see the submarine in the ocean. Oh, there's a freaking shark biting my leg. Bat spray. Boom, done. Hey, I have to cut this grate to get in this window. Oh, well, Robin, don't throw that on the ground. Safety first, pedestrians. Let me pull out this bat hook. He always had something for everything. He always had a pill, or he was a master inventor. Like, that Justice League would always get out of that situation. And Adam West's so full of hope, so full of, like, optimism, and he can fight. And I think, I could be wrong on this, I probably am, I think he's the only live-action Batman where someone didn't die.
Did you not see Batman the movie when they kick all the sailors and they just disappear and evaporate and die?
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
They didn't, like, die. They just evaporated.
That's death. That's instant death.
No, they were already dead.
No, they rehydrated and they brought them back to life and they were fighting. And then when they kick them,
No,
the rehydration process didn't work.
No.
Because they would have been fine had they not been hit, but he went bloop and killed.
I have something to say.
You know what? You're right, but I chose Adam West. Moving on.
I have something to say.
Okay.
But I thought of a different Robin at that time.
Dad really was blast at this. In Arkham City, we were at trying to find Mr. Freeze from Cobblepot Park. And literally, Dad fought a shark at Batman. He literally fought a shark.
We were playing Arkham City. The kids wanted to play, and I hadn't played it in years, so we were playing it as a family, like taking turns and going through it. And we were at the Iceberg Lounge, and Jania's playing first, and she's on the ice, and of course the shark pops up. I'm like, whoa, crazy! Well, then at the end of it, like the shark actually pops up and bites you, and you have to actually fight it off. And I'm like sitting there like, I'm fighting a freaking shark. It's Batman. Like,
The shark repellent bat spray.
And we had just watched Jaws like the day before, so like the
Nice.
kids were all into
Perfect.
these shark
Perfect.
attacks. Which brings us to number one, the grandfather of all superheroes.
Superman.
Exactly, Superman, the Jamaican version.
German Superman.
Clark,
Nice.
Clark, you dead. Come on.
So we're gonna take a break. No, I'm just playing. Okay, so this one, this is gonna be interesting to see what everyone goes with. I think Superman, there's always like who people, what they interpret and what they want. So
Can I go last, please?
I'm gonna go
Please,
last.
please. I have my reasons.
I was gonna let you go first.
I want to go first.
I have
Go
my
first.
reasons.
Go first. You're the youngest one out of all of us, and sometimes your voice, you have a different opinion because of how you see
You're
things.
the voice of the future.
You are the voice of the future.
Well, I went with Nicolas Cage.
Straight up.
Nicholas flipping Cage.
So, straight up, he was filling this out himself, and he was like, right, he goes, first thing he goes 1 to 20, he goes, Nick Cage, Superman. I was like, wow, all right. So Solomon chose Nick Cage.
The other one I was gonna choose was I forgot his name. Henry Cavill. That was my second one.
Wow.
But so there we go. Nick Cage,
Nick
number one. All right.
Cage.
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Hey, I'm gonna save Krypton. Levi, go.
Man, this one was tough. I did my list before Superman and Lois finished its season. I went with Cable, but God, Tyler's so close to being the choice.
I understand that. And this is another category where honestly I've joked, but like
Who else went with Nicolas Cage?
just you, buddy, just you.
Really?
I don't think there is a wrong answer. Like I joked with David Wilson, but that's whatever. James.
I went with Henry Cavill.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, I mean, he's my favorite Superman. He's the best Superman in my opinion. Tyler is fantastic. All of them pretty much are all fantastic. There's not one that I really dislike. So, but Henry is the top of the list. He is number one in my opinion.
Jania went with. I'll bring it up in a minute. I have Brian. Ever since you brought up the Hope theme, I have yours nailed down. I think to 2, and I won't guess them, but I'll let you when you do yours. Jania and I both chose Tyler Hoechlin, and I much like Levi said, I don't really like being the person that jumps on who the new person is. It's the new hip. That's the version I want to go with. But this version of Superman has really resonated with me. From the personality of the Clark, because we haven't had to deal with the secret identity because there's not many people in this show that don't know he's Superman that interact with both Clark and Superman. So he really hasn't had to do the Clark disguise like we're used to. But being that father, and that's what dialed me in even more, is the father aspect of this Superman. And dealing with that world and what that means, and also being a great husband. We haven't seen that angle of him yet. We were building that up, and we had a little bit in, the Lois and Clark, but this Superman and where he is in his life just resonates so hard with me. And he is such a good Superman, period. Janine and I chose Tyler.
And that's what your name is. And
yeah.
You chose your Superman. So I'm going down the elevator.
Okay.
All right. Brian. Master of Hope. Bring it on to us.
A lot of people always go with, Christopher Reeve, that's your definitive Superman. I have to disagree. I've been reading DC Comics chronologically, and my favorite Crisis event was Infinite Crisis because of the whole point of it was 90s took away hope. Like the heroes don't have hope anymore. So I almost chose George Reeves. I almost did because he just has a good possibility. I thought about that. I almost chose George because George just has that, if he comes in the room, you think you're going to be safe. He just had that type of thing. You're going to be safe. You're going to be in good hands.
He's like the man's man, Superman.
Man's man, yeah. So I thought about him, but I actually went with Tyler, and I went with Tyler because, in recent years, I've lost a lot of people close to me. And last year, my wife was in the hospital, and she was going to die. And when season 3 started, I went to you, and I was like, I don't know if I could watch this season, man. I don't know. Because it made me feel so vulnerable. Because, I look at Superman he can tackle anything. And just Tyler being able to play a Superman that is so vulnerable and so real, and dealing with I can't save her from this cancer. I can't be able to do anything, and I personally hate feeling powerless. So with Tyler being able to juggle being Superman and saving this and stopping this and that, and having to juggle that family as a father, I wanted my co-leader of the Justice League to be a father, to be a husband, to have that humanity. And I feel Tyler Superman embodies all that humanity of what Superman should be. And having Adam beside him as that hopeful, we'll do it, old chum, just brought in so much hope to the league. And that's why I chose Tyler.
All right. That is a awesome reason. You know, I was sitting here and when you were talking about that, I thought, is Brian going to choose Brandon Routh from Crisis? You know, but
I do love that version of Superman. I really do.
Yeah.
like this is a tough one. Like honestly, like I, you know, I said recently that my favorite Superman actor, this is no against anybody else, is Brandon Routh, and I said that because listening to him talk and then reading the book that I got from Ed, Brandon Routh is a Superman fan who got to be Superman and didn't play as like a fanboy. He played the character as it should be, but he truly is a fan who got to be Superman. Like, no offense to any of the other actors, like they, you know, have their points of reference and everything, but listening to Brandon talk and like the pictures of Brandon, like as a kid dressed as Superman and stuff, like he is like if one of us became Superman. Like if Brandon's the type of guy, like if he would like, I could see being friends with, like if he lived next door because he's so like down to earth, like so it's just like he has a great Superman, and I'll always be happy he got to do the Crisis event. But we have assembled our Justice League, guys. How do you feel about it?
It was fun. They got some really good teams. Wish we had those. Wish we had like a team photo.
I know. I was thinking like, well, I could sit there. I was like, should I make one later, like my top 7, like just standing together? If I get bored, and like I'll just
right. We just need to Photoshop our own like team photo. You know, like class photos. Team photo.
Now, whose Justice League is going to fight and win? I think Levi's and James are like, hey, I'm fighting myself for a lot of things. But the fun thing is, I was doing this and talking with Brian about it, and I started doing a list that is top 10 Superman villains, Batman villains, and then just DC overall villains. And the Batman villains is a ridiculously big list.
Yeah.
Because that is your DC villain list.
because you know you're pulling from the movies, the 66 series, Titans, Batwoman, and even Gotham Knights. Yeah. You're pulling from all of that. Yep. You know, it's funneling down. So I'm still working on those lists.
Can I be in the list? All right, Brian, Levi, James, you guys ready for another list?
We will do that on another podcast in the future.
Probably like in August.
This probably like maybe October. I have things planned for August already. Maybe September or October.
September.
I'm getting bossed around by my child. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We're going to let our guests sign off here and say their last few words. Levi, talk to the people. Tell them about yourself. Where can they find you if they want to chat?
You can find me on Twitter at The Round Superman. I have scaled quite a bit back on my social media since having a son, but I still do try and pop on every now and then and stay up on the news and latest casting. So
he's like, I pop on for all the McFarlane news. Call me McFarlane the man.
Right. I keep waiting for them to announce the Kingdom Come Superman so I can just call it good, but no dice.
Amen on
That's
that.
That's actually literally all I use Twitter for right now. For what I can pre-order.
I now get like nervous when I see McFarlane pop up on my like Twitter. I'm like, oh, what now? What now can I get? Solomon, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Well, I have to say something. My dad is crazy at Arkham City. Like, he is Batman Beyond. Okay, fighting a flipping shark.
What can I say? My kid loves me.
He got eaten by a shark. And also dodges Penguin. And also fights Solomon Grundy. Okay, you have to fight a zombie, a shark, and you have to be Batman Beyond. And you also have to get eaten by a shark. And also, you have to flip and chase like a ninja that's literally even faster than you. So what am I gonna do now?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed like Batman?
Because he is Batman, you moron. I do want to say, okay, I do want to throw this out real quick, and I'll let Brian say his goodbyes, and then James. We got caught in a rainstorm today, and when we came home, the kids went upstairs to get dressed, and I went in my room, and we all come back in the kitchen. We're forming. Solomon is wearing a Flash t-shirt. Sayla's wearing a Batman symbol t-shirt, and I'm wearing a Superman symbol t-shirt. My kids just know how to dress. That's all I'm saying. Like we just look like we're ready to go kick some butt, you know.
Walking around half the Justice League all the time.
Exactly. All right, Brian, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Manchild of Steel on Twitter, and that's it.
I'm the Manchild.
You can all find me in the future. You guys can find me on YouTube. And
Solomon just directed a little short film.
12-minute
film.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on YouTube, and you can also find me on Facebook.
Yep.
My aunt posts stuff about me on Facebook, and you probably also find me on Instagram or something like that.
Because your aunt posts about you on Instagram.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But if you go to my personal YouTube page, JTY Patrick, you'll see Solomon's little short film he made with his sister.
Yes, it is called.
You can find me in a champagne supernova
in the sky. James, people love you too, man. Where can they find you?
Superman Red _KR or on Twitter. James Cole III on Facebook. And I'm also James at JCalL3 on Instagram.
All right. Thanks for joining the
local GNC.
Yeah, your local GNC pumping iron.
And I'm also on Instagram too, so
thanks for joining the party. We had a fun time. It was a fun laid back not a lot of homework per se of like watching or reading anything, but just thinking about things differently. So everybody take care.
Go to sleep, get some good bedtime, watch The Office, and also remember, look up in the sky.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network. $1 a month, you'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, The Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Chase Smith here from the Chase Smith Podcast and Cavs on the Break NBA Podcast.
And I'm JD, host of the Hyman Podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network, and we are super excited to bring you a brand new show starting next Tuesday, the Fanfare Podcast.
The Fanfare Podcast is all about your favorite movies and our favorite movies and the best moments in cinema. To help guide our discussion, each episode will feature one classic, and we will grade this movie using a report card-like scale A through F. We're going to be grading categories like acting, directing, cinematography, the score, and even the movie poster itself.
And when we're not featuring a movie report card, we'll be sharing our movie rankings, franchise deep dives, actor and director interviews, and everything in between. Movies have been a major part of our lives, and we cannot wait to share our thoughts with you.
Our premiere episode will drop Tuesday, June 27th, and JD and I will be reviewing Raiders of the Lost Ark in preparation of the release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on June 30th, the 5th installment of the franchise.
Join us on the Fanfare Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us and then listen in.
Before we start this episode of Krypton Report, I want to take a moment and just give a shout out here to our Patreon. I know what you're thinking. Gosh, everyone's asking for money, and I get it. But our Patreon is only $1. $1 a month that helps us keep the podcast going. And what we do is we try to find interesting shows and topics and whatever we want to talk about. We've done, as of this little thing, our last recordings were on the Scream series. Brian and Tyler, that's me, do our own show where we record in the car, and it's kind of funny. And we talk about pop culture or whatever is going on. We also have the Supernatural podcast we've been reworking. It's taken on some time just because of life. But we do movie commentaries as well. It's something that James and I have done, what we used to do on the main show that we've started doing here. So for $1 a month on our Patreon, you can get those shows. There's at least 4 a month. Also, there's my movie pitch show that I do. But also, what we want is if you're a Patreon, you can come on. You can come on the main show if you want. Or if there's something you want to come on and talk about, we can do it as a Patreon special. So all I want is for $1 a month, think about chipping in, joining our Patreon, and you have a voice to be a part of things. Follow the link in the link tree or in the show notes below, patreon.com/KryptonReport.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.